In the name of Allah, who is the most beneficent and most merciful. My name is Areej Fatma from Department of BS Chemistry. Today I am going to present the topic manufacturing of paints. In general, paint manufacture, which was considered simply a mixing operation decades ago, has become a special branch of chemical industry. Now care is taken by employing latest technologies of process control and industrial engineering to produce good quality of surface coatings at lowest cost and better durability. By adequate research and development on this field, a new era has landed up in giving a wide range of special finishes. These are the outlines of manufacturing process. First process is preparation of the paste of suitable consistency with required quantity of pigment and media, and this step is called premixing. Second is grinding the above paste in grinding mill, thinning the paste to paint consistency with further medium and thinners. Fourth process is tinting the batch to match the shade required, refining if necessary. Sixth is checking the paint for physical performance required. And the end step is straining, filling, and packaging. This is the flow sheet diagram of manufacturing process. And in the first step, pre-mixing, and the pigment and the part of vehicle are mixed to form a paste in a mixer, and oil and resin is used as a dispersing agent in this step. Then the then the paste is goes to goes for grinding in the paint mill to grind the paste. And in the mixer, the thinning process occurs, in which remaining vehicle and other materials uh, uh, is used for thinning the paste to paint consistency. Then the fourth step is tinting, in which addition of desired color uh, to match the shade required. Then testing of paint, and then straining operation, and then filling and packaging. Then the paint is for sale. The first process is premixing. It is very important operation in paint manufacturing. In the premixing operation, the pigment and the part of vehicle are mixed to form a paste in a mixer. The pigments are thoroughly dispersed in media before grinding. For a particular result, the grinding time and number of passes through the mill are reduced. The proportion of pigments and vehicle for premixing is very important. If the pigment concentration increases, the paint will be crumble and will not remain as a coherent mass. Only by careful charging and experimentation, the suitable proportion can be determined. The mixes are arranged in a way that the paste, when ready for grinding, can flow by help of gravity to grinding unit. These are the commonly used machines for premixing operation: edge runner for distemper, putty, and stopper; horizontal paste mixer; heavy duty paste mixer; and pony mixer. Precautions taken during premixing operation. It is advisable to add higher oil absorption pigments first so that it has a longer mix. Uh, Second is, it is better to leave a little oil or varnish out of mix until all pigment is in. It is important to cover the batch for overnights with little thinner and the mixer covered with lid. It is better to grind the paste from mixers on the same day because some pigments may cause combustion if ground next day. For example, pigments such as chrome green along with linseed oil, if allowed to stand overnight without grinding, may cause fire hazards. The second process is grinding operation. The paste from mixers are then fed to the paint mill to disperse the pigments and then liquids intimately. In this paint mill, each individual particle is wet thoroughly with vehicle and flocculated aggregates are eliminated. The grinding operation is carried out in different grinding mills, which are as ball mill, which is used for media of grinding steel balls, pebble mill, media of grinding pebbles, um, triple roll mill, sand mill, which is used for media of grinding sands, dyno mill used for media of grinding beads, and the sixth machine is century mill, which is used for media of grinding steel balls. These are the precautions which is taken during grinding operation. The calculated amount of paste must be charred to ball mill, keeping in view about the volume of balls, consistency, and weight by volume ratio of pigment and vehicle. The light shades should not be ground in the ball mills because the shade may become dark. So it is advisable to carry the grinding operation in sand mill or dyno mill. Following general principles are adopted for efficient grinding. More effective the wetting property of oils, the greater the ratio of pigment to vehicle. Smaller the size of pigment, lesser the ratio of pigment to vehicle, and greater the true specific gravity of pigment, the greater the ratio by weight of a pigment of vehicle. The third process is thinning. The grinding operation is followed by thinning operation, also called reducing. The ball mills are high in pigment concentration, which is reduced by addition of thinning vehicles consisting of resin solution, oils, and solvents. The operation is basically a mixing operation, which is carried by power driving pedals, propellers, or turbines. The paint of required formula is now produced and it should be tested for grinding, consistency, color, drying time, and general appearance of the film. And the machinery which is used during thinning operation is paddle shaped mixers, which is used for high viscosity batches, propeller type mixers, which is used for low viscous batches, and the third is turbines blade type mixers, which is used for low viscous batches. And here is the precautions for this operation. Care should be taken to add vehicles and solvents in proper sequence and render agitation to avoid kickouts of only partly compatible compounding ingredients. The fourth operation is tinting. It is most important part of manufacturing process. In spite of extreme care taken in weighing the various colors used, shade variations do occur in various batches of same product in series. Almost all batches of paints need some tinting and color matching. Even white paints are tinted since there are many different shades of white. The color matching is done in the same equipment used for thinning with the same agitation to blend the tinting colors. The procedure must be handled by highly skilled or specialists who thoroughly understand the principles of shade matching. And the precautions which is taken during tinting operation are tinting colors are to be grounded in vehicles which are compatible with the base products, and the consistencies of the tinting paste is kept sufficiently thin so that they may be easily mixed in the batch by proper agitation. The fifth operation is refining. The paint is passed through sieve, preferably mechanical, to remove skin on other extraneous matters. The most widely used refining process is based on vibrating rotating screens of desired mesh. Following meshes are used in refining operation for flat wall finishes and house paints. 40 mesh are used for semi-gloss enamels, 80 mesh are used for interior enamels, 120 meshes are used, and for industrial enamels, 140 meshes are used. The sixth operation is filling. There are two general types of filling machines. the displacement type, and gravity type. First is the displacement type employs a plunger that is adjusted to discharge given volume, and the gravity type operates by a counterweight which mechanically closes the discharge valve at the required weight. And here is the paint and liquid filling machine, which is convenient in operating and overhauling. It can be adjusted easily. It is ideal for filling small quantity paint containers, and it can easily fill 800 to 1000 containers per hour. The seventh step is labeling and packing. For better efficiency, it is desirable to have labeling machines which follow the filling machines in a line. Properly adjusted labeling machines produce a neat and more presentable package than hand labeling. Then I will discuss art and color changing. First is color changing. Various technologies exist for making paints that change color. Thermochromic paints and coatings contain materials that change conformation when heat is applied or removed, and so they change color. Liquid crystals have been used in such paints such as in the thermometer strips and tapes, which is used in aquaria and novelty promotional thermal cups and straws. And photochromic materials are used to make eyeglosses and other products similar to thermochromic molecules. Photochromic molecules change conformation when light energy is applied or removed, and so they change color. Color changing paints can also be made by adding halochromic compounds or other organic pigments. One patent cites use of these indicators for wall coating applications for light colored paints. When the paint is wet, it is pink in color, but upon drying, it regains its original white color. As cited in the patent, this property of paint enabled two or more coats to be applied on a wall properly and evenly. The previous coats, having dried, would be white, whereas the new coat, which is wet, would be distinctly pink. Ashland introduced foundry refractory coatings with similar principle in 2005 for use in foundries. Electrochromic paints change color in response to an applied electric current. Car manufacturer Nissan has been reportedly working on an electrochromic paint, which is based on particles of paramagnetic iron oxide. When subjected to an electromagnetic field, the paramagnetic particles change spacing, modifying their color and reflective properties. The electromagnetic field would be formed using the conductive metal of the car body. Electrochromic paints can be applied to plastic substrates as well, with using a different coating chemistry. The technology involves using special dyes that change conformation when an electric current is applied across the film itself. This new technology has been used to achieve glare protection at the touch of a button in a passenger airplane windows. Colors can also change depending on viewing angle, which using iridescence, for example, in chroma flare. Paint art. Since the time of Renaissance, sensitive drying oil paints, primarily linseed oil, have been the most commonly used kind of paints in fine art applications. Oil paint is still common today. However, in the 20th century, new water-based paints such as acrylic paints entered the market with the development of acrylic and other latex paints. Milk paints, also called casein, where the medium is derived from the natural emulsion, that is milk, were common in the 19th century and are still used. And it is used by the earliest Western artist, egg tempera, where the medium is the emulsion of raw egg yolk mixed with oil. Remains in use as well as are encaustic wax-based paints. Uh, a gouache is an opaque variant of watercolor which is based around varying levels of translucency. Both paints use gum arabic as the carrier and water as a thinner. Gouache is also known as designer color or body color. Poster paint is a distemper paint that has been used primarily in the creation of student works or by children. There are varying brands of poster paint, and depending on the brand, the quality will differ. More inexpensive brands will often crack or fade over time if they are left on a poster for an extended time. The paint and the painter's mussel, a European freshwater mussel, uh, individual shell halves were used by artists as a small dish for paint. And this is the picture of painter's mussel, which is freshwater mussel. Then I will discuss about applications of paints. Paint is applied onto a substrate surface which has been previously treated by the methods of enhancement of adhesion, uh, surface preparation, cleaning, surface roughening, primers, adhesion promoters, and for plasma treatment. The following techniques are used for application of paints: brush, roller, air spray, airless spray, electrostatic spray, rotating disc or bell. First technique is brush. Brush application is used for decorative coating of relatively small and complex areas. Brush painting is a slow application method, but it provides good penetration of the paint and it prevents paint losses associated with the spray application method. The second technique is roller. Roller technique is applied for coating large flat surfaces and it is faster than brush application. In contrast to brush method, roller painting is not suitable for applying high film build. The third technique is air spray. In the air spray application method, the paint in form of atomized droplets is delivered by a stream of compressed air. The paint is pumped from the tank into the gun where it is atomized, which is broken into smaller droplets by the flowing compressed air. The typical air pressure in the air spray is 40 to 50 psi, which is about 0.28 to 0.34 megapascal. Um, Spray application is a simple and inexpensive method which is capable to coat objects of various shapes and dimensions. High quality coatings are achieved if the paint composition provides the required levels of viscosity and the drying time. The disadvantage of the air spray application is unavoidable overspray, losses of the paint, and expensive organic solvents and thinners. Besides the costly losses, the method requires additional investment in safety equipment in order to protect the workers exposed to the hazardous solvent vapors. The fourth technique is airless spray. In the airless spray, the paint is not mixed with air. The liquid paint is delivered to the gun by a hydraulic pump, which producing a high pressure of about 300 to 7,000 psi, which is about 2 to 48 megapascal. The pressurized paint is atomized in the gun nozzle. The nozzle is commonly made of tungsten carbide. It has an orifice, diameter of which, together with the paint viscosity and the pump pressure, determines the delivery rate and controls the coating thickness. Using high pressure pumps and preheated paints allows to apply high viscosity paints which having a decreased amount of solvents and thinners. For example, high solids paints. The low solvent content in this paint for airless application results in a reduced overspray. Combination of the airless and the airless application methods is used in the air-assisted airless spray application technique. The paint is supplied to the gun and atomized like in the airless method. However, the paint is additionally atomized by uh, low pressure compressed air, which also controls the fan pattern. The fifth technique is electrostatic spray. Electrostatic spray application is based on electrostatic attraction of electrically charged atomized particles, either dry powder or liquid paint droplets, to the grounded, which having earth potential workpiece. The charged particles